What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what shorts are up to today, and then aside from that, what the latest in 13Fs is really telling us. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 3.89%, 301 the low, 313 the high. So it is piggybacking off of just the broader market's optimism. Couple different things. Bank earnings came in absolutely phenomenal. So that's one thing. And then secondly is the dreaded CPI wasn't as dreaded as I guess once thought. So month over month came in at 0.4, forecast was 0.4, and then year over year came in at 2.9, forecast was 2.9. So pretty good, but even if we dig a little bit deeper, look at the true numbers behind the scenes, it does show the energy basket went up 2.6%. And that's kind of on a side note, the negative side of CPI, why the Feds like to look at PCE, because energy does make up for a pretty volatile basket. So it's sometimes best to remove it. But for CPI, it does show it went up 2.6. So that means that the other basket items did go down significantly. So once again, that is very good, what the market wanted to see. Aside from that though, no actual news associated to Lucid, no SEC filings, nothing like that. The only thing of substance that they really posted was this was on social media saying that they're participating in the Montreal Auto Show between January the 17th and 26th. Don't anticipate any crazy news during this time frame, but it could result in some more maybe orders, just word of mouth, just being out there showing off what they can do. So I think that is good. They've been doing more of these type of auto shows. I don't believe in Canada. This might be the first one in Canada. I'm not really sure about that, but they've been doing more in Europe as well as the States. So they definitely, this is kind of their marketing thing. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, shorts right now are increasing 60,000 shares. 19.09% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 227.38 million shares overall are being shorted. So they are rather timid right now, because normally what they do is they increase a couple 100,000 at least on a very bad day, but generally they are probably disappointed. If anything, I think if Lucid was to put out something of substance, like a good piece of news, that would definitely deter them, bring it down a lot off of that 19.09%. Aside from that, moving over to options, 823,000 in calls, 1.4 million in puts. 59% of all the options being done today are neutral in nature. A little bit better for the volume. So yesterday there was only 1.4 million in total premiums. Today, so far, we're sitting at 2.2. So it's kind of back to the norm. So pretty good for that. Of the call options that are being purchased today, you see consensus for it to be above roughly 350. So good optimism for that. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 3. And then still, this happened yesterday as well. I'm not really sure why. For there is kind of these pockets for it to be sub $2 for next week. I'm not really sure again why, but there was also this January 16th, 2026, 10,000 purchased at that 3, and then right here 1,000 purchased at the 250. So there is some, I guess, overall larger negativity when it comes down to Lucid. So let me know your viewpoints on that. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you see some selling, some buying, kind of mixed overall, but algorithmic trading is really that deciding point that is pushing a lot of the stocks and broader market higher today. With it right now at 307, trading between this pivot and this S1. So 291 is going to be the strong support. Hasn't been tested since I believe it was last week. And then $3.19 is that next strong target / resistance, which similarly wasn't touched today. So just kind of take note of that. In my opinion, with CPI and bank earnings coming in better than anticipated, that's essentially the green light to buy it up. So again, that's just my own viewpoint. You do whatever floats your boat and stuff like that. But one thing I do want to bring up is based on the latest ownership kind of disclosure, so 13Fs, it is now calculated that big money during Q4, because it's always Q4, that's what they're disclosing, did increase their position by 34.2%. Retail, on the other hand, did lower their position by 35.64%. No offense to a lot of you or retail in general, but even aside from a lot of the stocks I cover, I typically look for stocks that are primarily owned by institutions. Anything that has high retail presence, typically shorts follow. It kind of, I don't know why, it's like a magnet, right? Largely because shorts can kind of easily manipulate retail. But again, I see this as relatively optimistic. Some people might not, but this also does signal that during Q4, retail did sell out. They panic sold, and during that time frame there was that issuance, so maybe that really deterred a lot of retail investors. But nonetheless, I see this information as very, very optimistic. You guys might not, or whatever floats your boat, I'm not really sure. But no new analyst ratings. As far as forecast, no changes for earnings per share or revenue, so I'll still continue to monitor that just to see if there is any changes leading into their upcoming earnings. On a side note, if you want all of this information to be completely free, tons of good information, take a look at 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗧𝗧, link in the description below and also the comments for all of it to be completely free. But generally, like I said, there isn't really anything of substance, no news, no articles really coming out about Lucid that isn't really just pointing out the fact that it's like oversold or just on a technical level. So let me know what it will take, or when do you think the next piece of news is going to come out. But on the actual chart itself, as of right now, it is holding on to above both the ALMA 100 and 200-day moving average. So that is a very tight-knit, strong support. So going forward into the next couple trading days, definitely watch for that to hold. But it's been tested over the last 4 trading days, and so far it is kind of signaling that it wants to move higher. Like I said, with all the everything that's been happening, that is essentially a green light for Lucid and many others to really move higher. Looking at stochastic, this is one thing that a lot of articles are bringing up, just the fact that it is very oversold. So again, if Lucid was to put out something of substance, then you could see a rush of value investors getting in, so that could really push the stock price up from here. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing behind the scenes? And have you been dabbling with options? I say this occasionally, but if you really do believe in Lucid or whatever else, take advantage of like bloodbaths and buy calls. That is actually how you make a substantial amount of money in the market, is through options. And this is why frequently I do bring up options a lot, and even I post this on Patreon and as well Discord. It's completely free as well to join the Discord in the description below. But I bring up all the bearish options, all the bullish options that is happening, so you can kind of see exactly what big money is truly feeling. And so for instance, Nvidia, there was 370,000 in premium just in one transaction. It shows 156 is the kind of target for that. So generally, this is why I like all this information. So do your own due diligence and options. So aside from all of that though, definitely pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.